So today I want to have a conversation about solutions. And if we're being honest, I believe that the best way to come up with solutions is by asking the right questions. And so on that note, today I want to ask a question. That is, do you think that interracial marriage or dating out is the only way to save the black community? Now hear me out, because I know a lot of you listening will probably be thinking, well, it's to save the black community, so wouldn't black people marrying and reproducing with other black people, wouldn't that be the obvious way to fix the black community? And you know what? Under normal circumstances, I would say you are absolutely right. But we are living in strange times in 2023, and these are not normal times. At the end of the day, no matter how much we would like or how ideal things would be if black love and solely black love was able to flourish, but unfortunately we aren't in those times. And what we're looking at is the black culture, right? I've said numerous times that I believe that the black culture is trash. The black culture is trash because of the things that it stands for, the people that it celebrates, and the principles and the morals and lack thereof that it chooses to exhibit. And the fact that it chooses to blame and put everything off as being white supremacy or racism, systemic racism, and they can never take accountability for their piss poor actions. And that's just how I see it. And at the end of the day, how do you fix this, right? Well, if we know that the culture is trash, then in my opinion, you need to tear down the culture. Tear down the culture. Separate yourself from the culture. Divest from the culture. Get away from it, because you cannot be a light in darkness. I said it multiple times. You're not Jesus. You cannot be a light in the darkness. You have to separate yourself and shine from a distance. Be a beacon, not a flashlight. Or be a beacon, not a nightlight. I'm just saying. When we look at the black community and how the state of relationships, the state of families, the state of the community, how can you think that what we're currently doing right now is the correct way, or that what we're doing right now is producing better results? And to be honest, the answer to that question is you can't. You can't, because you can't honestly tell me, with everything that you see going on, that people and the community is on the rise. No, it's not. We are crashing and burning. And the only way to save yourself is to separate yourself. And with that being said, what does that separation entail? Because we've seen a lot of people having a lot of fuss about white folks, and the whole white folks are dying out, and white folks are interbreeding with other races so that they can keep themselves strong and keep themselves alive. And my question to you is, if the black community, a hyena community, is doing the same thing, if this culture of hyenas is doing the same thing, or going through the same thing, the same decline, then why the hell wouldn't we do the same thing? That real question, honest question. Why wouldn't we do the same thing? Wouldn't it be better to marry and interbreed with other cultures and therefore pick up the traits that they want? It's an equal exchange. They want us for our genes, and guess what? We want them for our culture. For their culture. Sounds pretty fair to me. I'm just throwing this out there, because what's the alternative? What's the alternative? Instead of focusing so much listening to Umar Johnson and trying to shame people for interracial relationships, maybe that is an option worth exploring. I'm not saying that everybody should get in interracial relationships. I'm saying that maybe interracial relationships is the way to save the black community. There's been a theory that I've heard numerous times, and I think that there is some merit to it. The theory is that if black people interbreed and marry out, date out, have kids with other races, reproduce with other races, it can potentially end racism. Mixing with other races, if every race mixes with other races, it can effectively end racism. And that doesn't mean, because I know that there's a brainiac saying, oh no, there's just gonna be something else that comes along. I know that. People are always gonna figure, humans are tribal in nature. We're always going to find ways to separate ourselves and group ourselves and differentiate ourselves. All we're saying is that maybe eliminating the race factor from that conversation is worth exploring. Because if we're being honest, maybe classism isn't so bad. Like, let's just be honest. We have to really think about these things. Don't just look at how you feel about it. Look how you look at in what makes sense. If every race mixes with every race, then there can be no racism. There can be no racism because everybody's a mutt. Everybody's mixed in with something, with a little bit of something anyway. And for most black people, that we are anyway. So what are we talking about here? Why is that so bad? I'm talking to the people that are so pro-black, and they are always got something to say about whenever there's two people from different races that get together, talking about you don't respect black people that date out. I'm saying that what if doing it your way is the reason why the black community is suffering the way it is, and maybe introducing other cultures and other families and potentially other circumstances into the black community might be the only way for this trash community to actually literally save itself. If we're already on a decline, what do we have to lose at this point? The ship is sinking. The ship is sinking. What do you have to lose? When you really think about it. We are our own worst enemies. And just maybe, the way we've been doing it is not the way it's supposed to be. Because there was a time when black people had it figured out, and now they don't. And this progressive mindset that is not working out. It's not doing it the way. It's not bearing good positive results. What is the return on investment? When you sit up and you clown people for who they choose to marry based off of race and not the values, you part of the problem. Because a lot of these issues that we have going on in the community is because of the mindset of men and women. Because of that mindset, you just letting it feed off of each other, and now you're telling people that they have to, that they literally have to be forced to deal with people that don't want to deal with them. That doesn't make sense to me. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's not gonna make sense, because at the end of the day, what do we have to lose? Let me know in the comment section, because this is what I'm about. I want to have conversations. I want to spur thought. In my opinion, I think that there is merit to the statement that if everybody mixes with everybody, then nobody can be racist. Maybe there will be there will probably be classism, but let it be. Let people figure out another way, another reason to hate each other. Just take race off the table.